Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. This is Shawnee.
And this is Rhodey.
And welcome to Not Your Average Church Girls podcast with the Z.
With a Z.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing okay. I just feel like I'm in a brain fog today. I think it's because for the last couple of days, I've been sleeping on my recliner because I've been falling asleep watching TV or working on my devotionals, and I've just fallen asleep on a sofa and sleeping with my neck in certain positions, and just I woke up really tired today, so I had to make sure.
I'm not a chair sleeper. If I fall asleep on a chair, it's usually by accident because my neck gets stiff.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, my neck is just, if my neck wasn't right this morning, and then it just feels like I'm just tired. Probably for not getting like a full rest like I should have gotten. I did get up around 5 o'clock this morning when I woke up, and I got up and I actually got in my bed. But then by that time, the dog was barking to like around 7 something. She started barking to get out. So I had to go let her out. And so, but
I think she just maybe wanted some extra love.
Well, who knows? But tell the good people, what is our topic for this week?
All right, good people. Our topic for this week is, are you a texter or a caller? Now, I know for most people these days that is a no-brainer. They don't want to talk to you at all for any reason.
Not necessarily. I think it depends on the person. Really, honestly.
Yeah, but I said most. I didn't say everybody. I said most people. Most people do not want to talk on the phone. They just don't.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Figure. Yeah, I said most people. I didn't say everybody.
No, I didn't realize it was most. To be honest with you, I really just didn't realize it was most people either. It could be most people. I don't know.
They just.
I'm one of those people, though. I make up that number of the most people. I am because number one, I feel like most things you're gonna say on the phone, you could say it in one text message. To be honest with you, like, I just feel like now, granted, I feel like there's some things that should not be shared over text message. If someone's in a hospital and they're about to pass away, now I understand sometimes people have like family chats that they have, and they may just text everyone as a family to say, hey, listen, I just want to let you guys know an update. Such and such is happening. So some people sometimes may do that. But even in that, depending on who's in that chat, they still may get offended that you haven't called them personally to tell them that such and such was going on. Like, some people are really offended by text messaging. I have a sister from church, and she always says, I keep telling you, you're 11 years younger than me. I'm older than you. I hate text. Stop texting me. And I said to her, well, you have to realize I am 11 years younger than you, and I hate calling. Stop calling. You know, like,
I don't hate calling.
We have to find a happy medium.
Because there's some things that, like, if you're having a conversation with somebody and you really can't read their tone, if you're texting them about it, you could start a whole argument.
No, absolutely. I agree.
You're like, okay, that's not what I was thinking at all. I was just trying to tell you X, Y, and Z.
No, you're absolutely right. Because sometimes you write, or sometimes you read more into the tone than what's there. So you just like an email, like text messaging, emails, they can be misinterpreted depending on how the person receives it and perceives it and reads into it. And I think sometimes But do you think when it comes to that, do you think it's like it depends on how that person is already feeling within themselves and how
No,
they.
I just think it's, for me, my opinion
Mm-hmm.
is that a lot of people are so used to, especially the last 10, 15 years, of not having face-to-face conversations with people, that you have made up in your mind sometimes to a good detriment that, okay, if they're saying X, Y, and Z, they must mean it like this. You haven't talked to them. You can't tell. You don't see them, obviously. You can't tell their tone of voice. So you're like, maybe they're angry with me. Maybe they mean this. Maybe they mean that.
That's true. That is true. And then sometimes it's because you kind of know a person's character
Mm-hmm.
and you know how their normal tone is. I've had that happen. I've read people text messages, and because I do know their tones and how they normally speak, I have taken offense to things, and then I'm trying to get better at not holding things in, but being able to confront things, not confront like being confrontational, like not like that, but say, hey, listen, I received your text message. I thought I would give you a call because I didn't want to misinterpret what you were really saying in the text message. Because the tone that I was reading may not be the tone that you said it in. So I just wanted to give you a chance to explain, did you mean this in this way? Or is it just in my mind? Did I just read it incorrectly? So again, but yeah, I'm still a texter. I'm still, because I feel, know what it is for me too. I feel
What's
like
that?
my patience are short, so I feel like I I feel like this. I think this is the perfect way I can explain me why I love to text, because I can stop at any point. Like I can stop at any point. Whereas if you're on the phone and someone is constantly answering you, asking you questions, you have to make sure you constantly answer, or say, I don't feel like answering that right now, or you just feel like you have to be very present. I think that's the thing. Unlike text message, you don't have to be as present as you are either face to face or over the phone.
And that's what I was saying. People don't. They have a real issue knowing how to communicate with other people these days, because just like you said, you have to be present, you have to look at me, you have to interact with me. And to me, especially if I know that we talk on a regular basis, you're like, oh, well, what's wrong? I'll send you a text, you don't answer me for 5 hours, and then when I'm like, well, okay, let me back off then.
Oh, okay. See, and I do understand that. Now I have to say, in response to what you just said. Now, it's not that I prefer text because I don't know how to communicate. It's not that I prefer text because I don't know how to give someone eye to eye contact, or I don't know how to be present in the moment if I'm speaking. It's not that. It's just that I feel like I always have so much going on, especially in my household. With various dogs, I feel like my house is a zoo at any given time. So I feel like it's less pressure for me not being on the phone. Um, and and honestly, I just feel like it requires less focus, especially if I could be honest. Like sometimes because of injuries in my body and pain in my body, different things, I'm on medication, and so sometimes if I'm on the phone, this has happened to me a lot with different people, where sometimes your medicine begin to kick in and you start talking out of your head, and you don't realize you're talking out of your head until somebody say, "Wait, what? What do you say?" And then you like you kind of come back and like, "Huh?" Or which is embarrassing. Or it's been times I've been on FaceTime with people and I'm having problems with my left eye. Um, my left eye is starting to wander, meaning like it goes into different directions now. And I went to
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and it's so weird. I don't know that my eye is doing that. Very seldom I know. Very seldom. Because the reason I say is sometimes I get this pain in my eye and I could tell that my eye is going into another direction. Now, I can't see in that other direction. People think you see in two different directions. You're really not. Well, I can only speak for myself. I'm not. Even if my left eye is looking, if Rhodey is to my left and I'm looking straight, I could only see straight. I can't see.
What's your optometrist say about that?
Well, he said it's coming from my right eye. That because he said my prescription in my left eye has not really changed, but the prescription in my right eye has, and he said that it's coming from my right eye. So we changed. I have a new prescription. He said with the new glasses, the problem is, I don't wear my glasses every day. And I don't wear my glasses often. Only time I really...
Are you recommended to wear them every day?
I am not. Because I could really... The thing is, I have like a far side... One of my eyes is far-sighted. The other is nearsighted. So, because of that... I can see... Like, I can see very well. Now, once I close my left eye, that's when things, depending on how far away I'm from it, begins to look blurry to me. But once I open up my left eye, things look perfect. Like it looks 20/20 to me. The only problem I have is if I'm driving, the lights from the cars.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. The lights from the cars bothers my eyes. It makes me feel like, and I have a astigmatism in my eyes. So with that and looking at the lights of the cars, it makes it feels like. It feels like light is just being dispersed in your eyes and it's going in different directions. That's how it feels for me. So that's why I wear my glasses. And that's another reason why I really don't like to drive at night. But other than that, I can see perfectly fine. Like I told my doctor, I said I had to be honest, I very seldom wear my glasses. Now, sometimes if I'm working on my devotionals or on my phone too long, or on a computer too long, I'll put my glasses on.
Yeah, because eye strain is a real problem that people don't really deal with.
Absolutely.
They don't take into account how long staring at screens, because even and my eyesight's pretty good for my age, I get lost in videos about people cleaning out the air ducts or people cleaning out the cleaning anything. I'll get lost in cleaning videos or lost in all these other videos. Somebody's cooking something, and I'll notice when I look from my phone up to the TV, it's like, okay. My eyes are like, oh boy, this is wonky.
Right. So that he said that, and he said because it doesn't happen all the time, it's sporadic. I forgot what he said he could have put in my glasses. He said, but he doesn't want to add any extra things to my prescription if it's not needed. He said if it was something that was happening all the time, every day, all day long, that would be different. But because it's just sporadic, he just feels like just changing the prescription. And once I start wearing the new glasses, it will help my right eye. Now, it sounds kind of, again, I'm not an optometrist by any means, so I'm not going to try to self-diagnose myself. But when he was saying that to me,
sometimes you know what's going on with you first before the doctor does.
No, and that's absolutely true. But I just mean in the case of him saying that it's my right eye that's causing my left eye to wander. Now I do know that my left eye, when I first started wearing glasses, was very strained because it's my stronger eye. So it was my right eye was pulling on my left eye. That's what the eye doctor said, was pulling on my right eye a lot. I mean, on my left eye. Yes. So it's amazing that even with that, I still love to text message. I just feel like, you know what it is? I feel like a text message is just quicker for me. I feel like I could just hurry up and respond back, or I could say, Siri, text Rhodey, is 4:30 still good for her? And I could be doing something, or whatever the case may be. And I know, listen, I know someone said, well, you could do that on the phone. You could have your earpiece in. Listen, half the time, I don't even know where my earpieces are at. Like, I'm being honest. Like, my daughter took my Beats on vacation with her and came back and told me she never had the cord. Well, how did you charge the Beats if you never had the cord?
They don't think that far ahead when they're that age.
And so then I had 2 sets of AirPods. One dog chewed up one AirPod out of the set, and then the other dog chewed another AirPod out of another set. So
don't blame the baby.
I'm not blaming. I'm just telling you what it is. So I feel like it's less pressure. I feel like it's less pressure, because sometimes I just feel like, for me, I'm just not always there, to be honest with you. My mind is always on so many different things. Especially when you know this for yourself. When you're trying to accomplish so much stuff, and you're thinking about how you can change your life, so you can change your family lives, and
But I'm a multitasker. I can be doing 3 or 4 things at one time.
I used to be so great at multitasking. I used to be so great at just doing a lot of things. I'm gonna be honest with you, but over the years, I would probably say a mixture of the chronic pain, and the medication. I've noticed a decline in a lot of my abilities. Like, honestly, like, just even sometimes my ability to think. Like,
I'm not talking. Yeah, and I understand all that you're going through, but I'm just talking about. And if you are going through issues, health-wise or whatever's going on in your life, I completely understand if you are not necessarily a text person and you don't want to text,
or you don't like to call, whatever your case is.
If you don't like to text for special reason, but some people, they just never want to talk to you.
Right. I mean, and I'm not that person. I'm not that person at all. If I know I haven't heard, sometimes I could get somebody could text me, and I could read, like we were just talking about the tone, and I will call, like, if I feel like, wait, this person don't sound right to me, let me call them. And I will call them and say, hey, I'm just calling to check in with you because I read your text, and from your text I feel like in my spirit, that maybe you're not feeling well, or you may be depressed, or you just whatever. And so I will do that. I'm not opposed to calling someone. I'm not opposed to checking in with someone. And I do know that there is a time and a place for text messaging. I feel like every situation should not be a text message.
No, every situation shouldn't be a text.
Like, for example, if you saw my daughter, or found out something terrible about my daughter, or if you saw that my daughter was, God forbid, in an accident or something, you saw this because you saw her, I would think that you would pick up the phone and call me, and not say something and not text me. I feel like in those situations, certain situations, you should pick up the phone and call people. If you know someone's best friend just passed away, and they don't know about it, I will pick up the phone and call the person. I wouldn't just text the person. Now, if we are already in a situation, for example, my mom has been going through a lot of health problems. People ask me a lot about how my mom is doing. I'll send people a text message. Oh, she's not feeling well today, or that's because we have already established a basis of talking about my mom. It's not like it's the first time you're hearing something about my mom. So, for example, when my mom first went to hospital, I knew there were certain family members that I knew I had to call them. Because I knew that if I just text them and told them she was in the hospital, they would be offended.
Because you're like, wow, I thought we were better than this.
Right. So, and because I know that, I picked up the phone and I called. But after that initial call, there were sometimes I would call them again. But there were other times when I would have an update, I would just send them a quick text. Hey, I just want to give you an update. Such and such is going on. And sometimes I would text because maybe I know that person is at work. I don't work outside the house. So I know this person is at work. So I know that it's probably easier for this person just to see a text message as opposed to, because I've realized everyone's job is not the same. Everyone doesn't have the ability to be on the phone, talking on their phone.
Everybody can't just talk on the phone when they're at work.
Absolutely. So I will send a text that way. Now, as long as it's not something that's like, they're saying they're giving her 2 weeks to live. You know what I mean? Like, that's different. Lord. I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to make it clear. As long as it's not something important like that. If it's just something like, oh, they're just going to take her for a CAT scan today, or they're just going to keep her for a few more days, or they're thinking about they're going to discharge her in the next few days, something like that. I feel like when it comes to being on the phone, whether it's calling or whether it's texting or whether it's emailing, because some people don't text or call, they just like to email. Or since we're talking about this, some people don't like to do any of those things. They like to do everything over social media, which I hate. Yeah. Now, I absolutely hate. Yes, I'm all over social media. Yes, I use social media, but I feel like social media tools should be used for certain things, not for everything. I don't want to know that find out that my grandmother passed because somebody posted it on social media.
This woman, and this is slightly off topic, but this woman, unfortunately, she was killed, but because she posted almost everything on social media daily, they were able to find out what happened to her. I'm not saying that you should, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was her husband. It was awful.
Her husband killed her?
Her husband killed her and the kids.
What?
Young kids.
Wow.
And was cheating on her with a woman that looked a lot like her.
Wait, how long ago was this? Because this sounds like a story I just heard recently.
This happened a few years back, probably 3-4 years ago, and I was watching it because I am a murderino. I watch Dateline, all that.
Well, you know what? It could have been that, because you know how sometimes social media people replay things that happened a few years ago, so it could have been that situation. Because I was watching it on TikTok.
But he killed her, killed the kids. It was awful. I won't get into it for some of our sensitive listeners, but because she posted on social media, she posted everything. I mean, just every day she posted things about work. She posted things about her family life. She posted a whole bunch of stuff. And he ended up killing her and killing the kids.
Wow.
Young kids. I mean, these kids were, I think the oldest one might have been 5. Maybe.
Wow. And since you said that, speaking of social media, that's how a lot of people are being convicted. And not only being convicted, being arrested is through their social media accounts. Because people
just can't stay off that phone.
Can't stay off their phone. They have to tell everyone what's going on in every aspect of their lives. I mean, you do what you want to do. I don't post anything personal on social media. If I post something
personal, it might be something small, like it's my birthday, or I had a really good lunch today. Something little, like you wouldn't.
Right.
Really
very seldom. Sometimes when I do like Shawnee's testimony, Tuesday testimony, or testimony, however I phrase it, when I do my Tuesday testimony, sometimes if God leads me to say something that has happened to me personally, I may do that. But I very seldom post anything But see, again, because my social media is solely just for ministry. It's not for personal. Like, I don't, if it had not been for me having this ministry and doing what I'm doing, I probably wouldn't be on social media at all anymore. Because before this, I had backed up from Facebook. Like, I had actually stopped using Facebook. And so I think that if it wasn't for me having my ministry, I would not be on social media at all.
Yeah, social media can be great if you use it properly.
Absolutely.
But like you said, a lot of people use it too much.
So, did you hear that in Florida? I believe they just passed a law. I believe it's a state law, if I'm remembering correctly, that any child under the age of 14 is not allowed to have any social media accounts, and if they have any social media accounts, that they must be banned. Like, they're holding they hold their Facebook and X and all these social media people
liable.
Yes, well, I don't know really liable, but they made it where they have to go and look through these accounts and make sure that the accounts are for people over the age of 14. And I believe, if I read it correctly, they said kids 14 and 15 can have social media only with parental guidance. But my thing is, some people don't realize there's not a one size fit all situation to everyone's life. There's some 14 and 15 years old out here that's truly caring for themselves.
Very mature.
Not only that, but they're out here caring for themselves. Like, literally caring for themselves, taking care of themselves. So you got to realize everyone doesn't have a two family, and when I say you, I don't mean you personally. I just mean you in general. Everyone.
I know.
Oh, okay. Doesn't have, like, that two family household, or even that one reliable family household. Some people live in a very dysfunctional household where, let's be real, there's some mothers or some fathers or some parents in general that just don't care what their child, like, think about the state of the world and all the things that we hear on the news about teenagers breaking into people's vehicles and robbing people or beating up old elderly people and all of this stuff.
Kids don't have the structure now because people think, they need freedom. No, they don't. I just saw last night there was a man, and he was on. Well, he had his own video, but somebody else posted it. An influencer reposted it, and he said that his daughter lives with him. She's 8 years old. She said she didn't like living with her dad because he didn't give her enough freedom. And he was like, freedom? Little girl, go somewhere and sit down.
Wait, who was this?
So she said, it was just a random guy.
No. Oh, okay. Because I was trying to figure out who video. That's who. Okay, I thought maybe I missed something. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Hello, Rhodey. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, that was weird. It was just a random guy, but there was an influencer that was re-showing his video, and the man told his daughter, who was 8 years old, that, she needed to follow the rules and regulations of the house. She stayed with him. The mother had financial issues, and obviously the little girl did not stay with her. The little girl's upset. She's up in arms, blah, blah. You don't give me enough freedom. He said, okay, I want to go live with my mom. So she went over there. About a week later, the little girl called and said, Daddy, I want to come home because, Mom doesn't have this and that, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, so you see, freedom, according to you, isn't everything because, he said, I have a more stable job. I have this, I have that. And the little girl at 8 years old said, money isn't everything.
Wow.
So when she got over to her mother's house, she realized, oh, maybe money means a little bit more than I thought it meant.
Right.
And she was like, well, Dad, can you send me some money for food? And he said that he FaceTimed her to her siblings and him eating dinner and was like, okay, I'm eating. We're eating. But I'm not doing X, Y, and Z. I'm sure he did send her food because it was only a snippet of the video. But he was trying to tell her something, and the comments were, oh, my goodness, you're the worst father. You're toxic.
I believe it. I believe it. Everyone has an opinion about everything now.
It's like, do you realize he was trying to teach her that life?
It's like you can't even teach people life lessons these days.
Life lessons, yeah. Like he's trying to teach her. The influencer was like, I know he was trying to teach her a lesson. Blah 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 blah. He said, I think maybe.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I know exactly what it literally just clicked. I saw that video. I want to say maybe last week. I know exactly what you're talking about. And the comments, because sometimes I do read the comments were very, very toxic, to say the least.
People were, oh, how could you do that? She's just a little girl.
Well, I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, you need to stay in a child's place, and please don't come for me in the comments, y'all. My son is grown, so I raised mine. He's never been arrested.
Amen.
And he knows not to play with me.
Amen.
And I'm saying that to say this: you cannot always be your child's friend. If you happen to become friends with your child, then that's wonderful. But that shouldn't be your goal, because when you're friends with your child instead of being parents with your child.
No, even now, my daughter is 26. We can be friendly. But see, this is why people say, oh, you can become friends with your child, and maybe you can, but see,
but then she's grown now.
But my thing is about when you said becoming friends. Sometimes kids, even though they're adult children, sometimes cross that line and forget that you're their mom. Like it hasn't happened to me, but I know people that has happened to. Like they forget. Oh, I'm talking to my mom, and they start talking about, oh, I went on that date last night, and this and no, I don't want no. I'm not the parent I don't want to know all of that. So that's what I'm saying. For me to say, oh yes, we could be friends, there would be a lot of stipulations. So my daughter and I, we friendly. She know I love her more than anything. I'll do anything within reason that I could for her. Anytime she has any type of questions, or she has any doubt, or whatever the case is, I believe I'm like one of the first people she turned to. So it's not like wonderful. So it's not that she and I have a bad relationship. No, we do not. God allowed me, thank God, to raise a very sensible, sometimes self-entitled, very entitled, I should say.
You spoiled her.
I did. I'll take that. I did. And but she's a really good girl. She's a good girl. Like I've had people tell me that their daughters came back to them and told them, "Mom, I slept with this guy last night, and he did this, and I did that to him." And I'm like, "Whoa!" Like, what? Like, what? Now I don't want to have that kind of relationship. No, I just can't. Like, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. Hello?
I'm still here. You were going to your story. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, it sounded like you were not there at all.
No, I'm still here. I just didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. So, I don't know. So just getting back to, I just feel like you just have to use common sense, especially when, because even if you're calling someone, you have to use common sense even when, because you could be calling people at the wrong time. If you know someone is at work and if someone has already told you they work at a company,
please don't call me at work. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, please, my boss frowns upon that. Or maybe the person works at a call center where everything is recorded. They may say to you, if you need to call me, do not call my job number. Call me on my cellular phone. And you keep calling this person, you're out of order. Don't do that to people. So I feel like you have to use common sense in every aspect.
Yes.
Whether it's texting someone, whether it's posting something on social media, even if you're family members. Just because you're a family member to someone doesn't mean that you get the right to just expose that person's information on social media. I feel like,
that's absolutely true.
For example, God forbid, if something happened to Rhodey's dad, just because I know Rhodey, it's not my place to get up there and put on social media, oh, please pray for Rhodey Goodman. Her father just passed, without her acknowledging it, or her sister or her family members putting something up there first. I would be out of order, but a lot of people do that kind of stuff. Or they post people having funerals and they'll post the loved one in the casket, and come on, we have to. I just feel like we have to do better. We just have to do better. I feel like as a nation, in general, I feel like we have to do better. But again, I'm still a texter. I'll stand by that. I'm a text. I just feel like it's quicker. It's easier. I feel like this is how I feel. I feel like there's no pressure from a text message. Whereas a phone call, I feel a little bit more pressure to keep up with the conversation, or having to think of something else to say. I feel like I don't always have things to say. So for me, I feel like texting is so much easier. Now, I always say that, and people are like, well, that's not true because you talk a lot. Especially people say when I preach, I preach long. However, in my mind, I feel like I don't talk a lot. So for me, I feel like it's just easier. Send a text, boom, go about my business. And I feel like it gives the other person the ability not to feel pressured either, that they get to respond at their leisure. Unless I stipulate, please respond ASAP. Now, I hate when I'm asking someone a question and somebody leaves me on red, and don't respond to me. Now
that's the other thing with texting. You text somebody, they can take their sweet time.
Yes,
call you back.
That is true. And then I have to realize, just because the thing said read doesn't mean the person actually read the text message. They could have just
opened the text.
Absolutely. And they may have not even got a chance to actually read your text message, but they could have just mistakenly opened it, or anything happened, and now it's saying read, but in fact they did not read it. So and then
you're waiting for an hour or two for a response, and let's say the response needed urgent.
Well, in that case, I'll just get up and call. I'll call on the phone. Like, if I realize this is important, for example, if I need to ask you something about the podcast or something about the timing, and if I send you a text and I know that you didn't reply, which is unusual, which would be unusual, and if you didn't reply, I would say if you didn't reply back to me within 45 minutes, I will call you, because I will find that to be unusual, because you may not respond back right away, which normally you do, but if you don't, within at least, I would say, an hour, you respond back. So if you did not respond back within that time, I would then give you a call, because I would want, number one, not just to make sure you received the text, but number two, I will give you a call to make sure that you're okay. Because I feel like that's out of character for you. So I would be calling to make sure, hey, are you okay? Are you good? Oh, okay. Well then,
yeah, I usually don't take long to respond.
Right.
And here's another thing about texting too. if you're in a group chat and the group chat does not require
please speak up. Please, oh, girl, that's my pet peeve. That is my pet peeve. Go ahead and say it again because
do not reply all or don't reply at all. If they say, let's say you do PTA down at the school. I don't even know if they do that anymore. But let's say they do PTA at school and they say, everybody, we're meeting on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock for the clothes and food giveaway for the homeless. You don't have to keep saying, okay, I'll be there. Okay, so-and-so.
Thank you. And reply to everyone. If you want to reply, just reply back to the person who initiated the text message, and that's it. Unless everyone on the text message needs to know who's going to be there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then that is different. That's different. But if everyone does not need to know.
We're doing the clothes drive, food drive, whatever Saturday
I'll
morning.
give you a perfect example. Like when I get the text message of what we're going to wear to usher, I normally never respond back because it's always on a group text message. If I do,
everybody already knows already.
Right. So what I do is if I have to say something, I reply back to the sender only. Because what I'm saying is not going to impact anyone else on the text message anyway. But other people sometimes they'll reply. You start getting all these alert people just saying, okay, thank you, okay, thank you, okay, and I'm like, oh, and I sometimes I want to say, please remove me from this, but I don't want to sound mean or nasty or I don't want to be a team player.
It's not about being the team player. Sometimes people.
But sometimes people are sensitive in those situations. They take things to heart. So, sometimes you just have to be watchful and just, very sensitive to other people's feelings. So sometimes I used to get text messages. I don't know if you get them, in a group text about other people or maybe about someone's birthday. And to be honest, it used to just annoy me because I don't want to receive all of that stuff, from everyone. Because if I get a text, today is Rhodey's birthday. I number one, I already have your birthday in my phone. That's number one. But if I didn't, if they told me, I would be like, I would reply back to that person only. Oh, thank you. I didn't know that. And if I had your number, I would text you personally. Because a lot of times, sometimes they something like that is happening, and the person who is being impacted is not even on the chat.
The group.
Yeah. And so you getting all these alerts when people say happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And the person is not even seeing any of the happy birthdays. So I do find those group chat things, unless it's something like it's a friendship chat where we're always just talking about just whatever, that's different. But in other instances, I really do not like group chat messages and stuff like that. I really do not. It really annoys me.
They can be good, like you said, so that everybody's on the same page at the same time. Boom. We don't have to keep going back and forth.
Right.
But they can also be
annoying. Very annoying. So, but like I said, for me, if I know my response is not going to impact anyone else on the chat, I'll just respond back to the original sender and ask my questions.
The original poster.
Right. Now, if I know what I'm saying, so for example, if they're saying we need everyone to be able to usher on Sunday, and if I know I'm not going to be able to usher, then that's something everyone else needs to know so they can figure out how everyone else is going to be posted or whatever. So then I will respond to everyone, hey guys, I'm sorry, but I will be unavailable, whatever the case may be. But most times when people have responded, how about this? You know how you get those unwanted text messages now from like those spam text messages, and they have 10 other numbers on that text. Oh my gosh.
Well, mostly my phone is a newer phone. It's not brand new, but most of my stuff gets blocked.
Well,
people like that.
I have all of the stuff on my phone to get blocked too, but sometimes I still get those text messages. I don't get them as much as I used to, but I used to. My phone is old. I only have a 13. Well, it's not that old because I think they're only at the 15, so it's not that old. But I guess for Verizon or for Apple, it's old enough because they're trying to slow things down for me to upgrade.
I don't
Anyway,
know why they do that, because to me, you would think you want to keep your customers happy.
exactly. Exactly. And it's annoying when they do that too. So, and then I used to get the text messages. Especially when I had my Android. It used to happen a lot. I would get those spam text messages with all these other random people on there. And then you would have people responding back, stop texting me. Stop texting me. And so you get 50 text messages of strangers saying, stop texting me. And it's like,
well, the most recent thing I've got with annoying group messages is from the election.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The election was crazy because it just sent. First, you're like, how on earth did you get my number? But
absolutely. That's what I'm still trying to figure out.
Well, if you vote or register for almost anything, you're already on the grid.
That's what I figured, because... And so what I just do is hit delete and report. But I don't even think that works.
Not with government numbers. Because they were sending at least 10 to 15 messages a day every day.
Oh, wow. Now, I wasn't getting that many. Whoa.
I mean, it was craziness.
Oh, I would be beside myself.
Please stop. And they just kept sending them.
Oh, wow. No, that... Oh, my God.
Oh, we need your help. We need this. We need that. We need your vote. I get it. I am a voter. But goodness knows, can y'all think of another way not to do this?
Wow. Yeah. Oh, no. That would drive me nuts, Rhodey. That would drive me nuts. So, I just say, whether you're a texter, whether you're a person that loves to just speak to someone ear to ear, or whether you like to utilize social media, or maybe you're just one of those people, you don't like to use any sort of technology. You're one of those people that like the old-fashioned way of sending a letter or a telegram.
I like old-fashioned stuff. I do. Don't get me wrong. I have a smartphone. I have a smart TV, as most of you do. But there are times when I just like to read an actual book.
Right.
To flip the pages.
And I hear people talk about that all the time on social media when it comes to the Bible. Like, how many people own a physical Bible and not just have a Bible app?
I do. I have a physical. Actually, I have more than one.
That's what I was about to say. I have a lot of them. And, and then there's some people who just prefer face-to-face conversations. That way, because some people feel like, I need to see your eyes. I need to see your body language. I need to hear
because
the words.
You can always hide. That's what I was saying. You can hide behind an email or a text.
Absolutely.
And they have that new thing now. I don't know if some of y'all have seen the commercial, because I know a lot of y'all skip commercials. But they have the man was emailing his coworker because she had stolen his pudding again out of the refrigerator, and it had on AI over the side. It was like, do you want to make this more aggressive? Do you want to make it friendly? Do you want to make it X, Y, and Z? So he clicked the option that he could make it friendlier. It's, because first he was like, oh, I hope something happens to you.
Oh, wow.
But she kept stealing his food, and that's not okay.
Oh, no, listen, I've seen a lot of people who have actually said, you know what? And somebody said it's only 2 of us that's working tonight. And I know my food keeps getting stolen. So the person put it was three people working, and they could not figure out who kept stealing their and the person was really upset because they said it keeps happening.
Yes, the little girl. She wasn't a little girl. She was like in her 20s, but she did put a laxative. I never saw the end of it. What happened?
She put a laxative in the food, and next thing you know, you see her coworker run into the bathroom. Every few minutes, run into the bathroom. And she said, I felt the culprit. because the girl kept running to the back. It was a black girl. She kept running.
I don't understand why you would steal someone's food.
I don't understand. First of all, I don't want anyone else's food. I don't know what you do at home. I don't know how you prepared your food. It could be something that I'm allergic to in your food.
It could make you sick.
Yes, I do not want to eat your food. Like, I never. And some people have no qualms about it. And they'll be like, yep, I ate it, now I'll do it again. Like, what?
Put something in it.
So this is what that person did. We're not saying that it's okay.
Look, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, So my thing is, whatever form of communication that you choose to use, just know how to communicate effectively. I think that's the bottom line, is learning how to communicate effectively. Because you could be talking to someone on the phone and still do not know how to communicate your thoughts to that person. So
you need to hear them. You need to see them.
So with that being said, we're gonna bring this episode of Not Your Average Church Girls podcast to a close. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to download, subscribe, like, and share it with someone else who needs a laugh.
Or needs some encouragement, and we're encouraging you.
Yes, we're encouraging you to pick up the phone, whether it's to text, whether it's to call, pick up the pen, whether it's to write to someone who you have not heard from in a long time.
And please, people, if you see something about a family or close friend that just happened to them, give them a chance to tell somebody else first.
Yes, please, yes. You don't have to be eyewitness news. Like, you really don't. You're not getting paid to share the news. You know, if only we would take the chance to share the good news as we would share other news, we would be a better off society. But with that being said, thank you for listening to us. We appreciate you. We're grateful.
We absolutely do.
Yep, we are grateful for each and every one of you. And until next time, God bless you, and God bless you.
See you soon.
Bye.